Walking around in Casco Viejo, it is so very beautiful. I feel like we have stepped into a whole other time. It's definitely going back in time. The architecture is really beautiful here. Pirates.
$5,000.
Walking around in Casco Viejo, it is so very beautiful. I feel like we have stepped into a whole other time. It's definitely going back in time. The architecture is really beautiful here.
The character of Casco Viejo is not only skin deep, the accommodations are beautiful as well.
Los Clementinas Hotel was originally constructed in the 1930s, initially as a building with 6 rooms to rent. The balconies of the hotel enclose a segment of the 1673 colonial city wall, a secret garden, and the history of 2 pretty interesting women who had owned it. Clementina Herrera, an independent woman who owned a pawn shop, was a free spirit and gained notoriety for being unusual for her times. She was an enterprising woman who had built her fortune all on her own. She had had a child with her business competitor. They named her Clementina, and since they chose not to marry, young Clementina lived in both of their houses. She eventually inherited both places, and she stayed on living in her mother's home. Young Clementina never married either, nor had kids, but she opened her home to artists and intellectuals and provided a safe place for women to come. She became known as the neighborhood's Aunt Terrible.
Look, Kathy's the same size as me.
I'm up on a massive curb. Anyway, it's really cool just wandering around Casco Viejo. Every corner that you turn, there's a new surprise. It's so beautiful. The old up against the new, the restored, in amongst the old. It's all really, really beautiful. Very fascinating.
There's some really interesting juxtapositions here. Like Kathy said, there's some really old buildings, but people living in them. And, some of them really haven't been restored at all. And right next to them are these magnificent, beautiful buildings that have been recently restored, and they have restaurants in them. It's really kind of interesting to see those butted up right up against each other. Yeah, a lot of beauty in it as well.
Yeah, but it's definitely a place to wander around. I think you could spend several days and not see it all. We're enjoying it.
The narrow brick
roads,
brick roads everywhere, barely wide enough for a car. The
sidewalks are high. They're really high, many of them, and very narrow. Oftentimes the sidewalks have scaffolding or reinforcements taking up half of it because they're holding up the building that's being restored.
And me with my gut, I have to walk sideways on them. So maybe that's why they're called sidewalks.
Oh, jeez.
This building was the original Union House in Panama City and became used for military housing, but then slowly became used for entertainment purposes. And most recently, James Bond movie was shot there, Quantum of Solace. Wonder what window he jumped out of.
This part of the walk that we're going on now in Casco Viejo is built upon the old wall that protected Panama City from pirates.
Kathy wanted me to film her walking beside people that are shorter than her.
Wait, it's gonna happen right now. I told you.
So, right here. It's okay, you don't have
This is called the French Plaza, right?
No, this is the monument to the Panama.
I know, but this area is the French Plaza.
Plaza is that way.
If we turned around, that's the French Plaza.
That's the French Plaza.
Anyway, this is the monument to the Panama Canal. Over here.
Yeah. And it's a monument for all of the countries that helped build the canal in the early 1900s. Each one of these guys did something in Spanish.
From different countries.
Yeah.
Behind us is part of the original wall that protected Panama City.
From pirates.
From anyone who would want to, what's the word? Invade, take over.
Like pirates.
Yeah.
Panamanians love their football, and you'll easily find impromptu games on the street and organized games. It's pretty easy to tell which team came out on top. Casco Viejo really takes you into like another time. It's like stepping back in time. And all the buildings are really incredible. They've upgraded a lot of them, and so they've got new facades, actually restored facades, and they look pristine. A lot of work has gone into this part of the city, and the parks are all really well maintained. Grass is except like cutting greens. It's really, really taken care of. It's obviously that this is the gem of Panama City. It's really, really a nice place.
Okay.
It's bueno, yes.
Like we said, every corner you turn, there's something fantastic that surprises you. We just came up on a park in Casco Viejo, and there is a market here.
few little
But there are
vendors.
some local dancers, and it's just a really nice setting.
The dance, the music that they're playing on the panpipes, just so surreal. Yeah.
Quite peaceful, but it
Yeah.
takes you to another place, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
You can find evidence of traditional Panamanian culture throughout Casco Viejo. As well as the influence of the Catholic Church. There are a number of old cathedrals in Casco Viejo, and as you're walking along, especially on a Sunday like it is today, you'll hear bells ringing. It's really awesome to listen to. And they just stopped. This design depicting the body and blood of Christ is made entirely of colored salt. The Festival of Devils is a blend of traditional Panamanian culture and Catholic traditions. Colorful and scary costumes are often worn, and costumes like these were used by Spaniards to teach Panamanians about Catholic religion.
We are in the Palace of the Hat here in Casco Viejo, Panama, and I show you what is the difference of the very famous Panama hat, famous in Panama and famous around the world, but make it in Ecuador. And the Panamanian hat, the name is painting hat or sombrero pintado, making in Panama, in La Pintada, in the province of Coclé. It's the next province to the west side of Panama. Well, both are different type of making for the artisan. Both are from a palm tree. This palm tree called toquilla. The toquilla just born in Ecuador. Before the Panama Canal building, all the workers used here toquilla straw in the Panama Canal building. So when the President of the United States, Teddy Roosevelt, come here, he saw all the workers use toquilla straw. One worker take the hat like a gift, he put the hat and take different pictures with the hat. When he come back to California, the people ask, hey, Teodoro, what is this hat? This is the Panama hat. So all the people come to Panama to buy the Panama hat. For that reason, it's very famous around the world for making in Ecuador. In this first step, the artisan defines the size of the fiber to define the quality of the hat. When the fiber is more smaller, it's more high quality. And a good validation to check if your hat is handmade or not handmade, when you see the signature of the artisan. The signature of the artisan is like a mini flower in the middle of all the hat. It will be all the models like this.
In the crown, yeah?
This mini flower is the signature of the artisan. Check all the
All different.
models, all is the signature. Because if the flower is more smaller, it's from the artisan born in Monte Cristi. It's a city of the top quality artisan in Ecuador. Both are. And when you see a little more bigger, it's from Cuenca. It's another city in Ecuador, more production.
Okay.
Start with in the middle with the signature and expand to the wing. And the difference to the Panamanian hat or painting hat is by rounds. You see, different rounds begins in the middle and end in the wings, like this.
Interesting.
Another good skills about the Panama hat, a good item for the Panama hat. If you like to travel around the world and do you not like to wear your hat, it's possible to roll like this. First, the style of the Panama hat in the back up, in the front down. When you wear it, put like this. When you roll your hat, put all the wings down, up this area, and try to put the hat inside the hat. When you put like this, just roll very tight in the line of the back. And put it in a small foot pouch or in a small space in your suitcase. This is only for travel, one day and a half. And then you need to return the hat to the same form. Like this. Voila.
Perfect.
When the quality of the hat is more higher, it's more easy to roll. For example, this is a medium quality. The type of weave to fiber in all the hat. In the basic quality, you see this type of weave only near to the band. And this. And let me show you the ultra fine quality hats. Okay? This hat during 6 to 8 months for making.
6 to 8 months. Wow.
The artisan during 8 months to make this hat. These are ultra fine quality hats. Start like a 26 grade until 33 grade.
Wow. It's
Very,
so fine.
very light, feel like it glows. Exactly. Very fun.
They're beautiful. And like you said, the
The mini flower is
flowers so small.
Exactly. And this is the responsible for the
This teddy.
Panama hat, very famous in Panama, not made in Panama. He has the basic quality hat. You see the type of weave to fiber only near to the band. Here we have in all the hat.
Oh, I see. So
And you see the flower
this is
bigger.
this is the better quality. And
This type of weave, exactly. You see this mini hole. You don't see this mini hole here. But this is more tight, more time to make it for the artisan and more resistant.
right.
Exactly. Well, the price of the ultra fine quality hats right now start $1,500. 26 grade, $1,500. 29 grade, $2,500 until to $5,000. This has 33 grades. The cost is $5,000 because the artisan during 8 months to make this hat.
8 months. Yeah.
Exactly.
So you're paying for top quality in that hat. Yeah. Thank you. And what better way to end the day than listening to some fantastic music?
Strong and the light is on. It's the only light we'll see. No one be afraid. No one be afraid. Just as long as he's standing by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, are you shopping anywhere? Change the color of your hair. Are you busy? And did you have to pay that fine? You were dodging all the time and you still did it. 'Cause dreams have come along, my body's very much. And knees just in your head, and the way you like to dress. Why don't you come you know we're far away.
Behind us here is the part of the original wall of China. I was going to say.
Ahora vamos a ver cómo llegamos allá al coco. Pero ya se carga todo ahí en el carro. Ah, pero ahora cuando...
Where are we?
No sé cómo te digo, pero digo que si vamos al coco, ya cuando terminas ahí, por ahí mismo te
Okay.
arrancas.
It's obvious that this is the gem of Pasadena.
For God's sake.
It's
The gem.